What's going on? I am Antasia Shabella Moore. Welcome to Where Our Travelers Simply Glow. As vulnerability takes place and precedence in my own life, especially dealing with our brand spaces owner, myself, Antasia Shabella Moore. Hi, welcome to our channel. Like and subscribe. I'm so happy to have you here. If you're returning, welcome back, girl. I see you. And to my gentlemen who are coming back, thank you, young men. I'm glad y'all are here. Y'all gonna make great husbands. Okay. And to ladies who are new and gentlemen who are new, thank you. I'm glad that you're here. Like and subscribe. And if you stay into the end of the video, make sure to leave a thumbs up. I want to know what that kind of sort of was hit like, right? And if you also stayed into the very end as well and you like the video, I want you to leave a heart emoji. Please and thank you. Okay, so vulnerability is definitely where it's at. As a young lady, as a young man, it's so hard. We talk about marriage all the time, but myself as a young lady, I'm still unwed. I have a daughter with my significant other though, and I call him my hubby, even though I had this dream and had this crush on him since I was like 6 years old. Y'all, it's so powerful. I mean, it just totally obliterated everybody else in the romantic scene that I have these strong feelings as they do for my hubby. And it's sad because I don't have a ring, but I call him my hubby. But I just recently made those solid enough connections to really feel like if he did ask, I am going to say yes. So again, I'm 35. I haven't even turned 36 yet. And he's younger than me. He's only 34. He's turning 35. And so, he's in his early 30s, late 20s, or whatnot. But there are other couples who are like 27, married, and bought houses. I'm like, what's up? But how? Like, I don't know. I just said the words. I wouldn't even believe it, but I always loved him and liked him for so long. But it takes that much courage because we're so vulnerable to actually open up and share our emotions. I had an incident where a guy came into my life and I just felt like he just kept making advances. I'm like, okay, what's up, hubby? And I said those things because I knew for a fact that I was trying to draw attention to my hubby and not this guy who just kept pestering me. And I know this sounds weird, but ladies, it works. Trust me. So if you want to steal that one, you're more than welcome to have at it. I encourage you all to do that as well. Or get some kind of word that really is a signal to the universe that you're looking for something serious. Not just any old thing or will do. And watch how God works in your life and moves this particular person so close to you, because it's exactly how it worked for me. And my own, well, I don't know how to even, well, okay. I will say that at that particular point in time, I was having a really different job, and again, it takes more vulnerability to be in that particular space because work is crazy. You around so many men, so many women. And for me, I didn't know that that was even going to be a really big issue because I'm so quiet. I'm not really seeking out that particular type of attention in these particular type of work environments. But for whatever reasons, I'm just like constantly drawn to the crazies. I'm just this kind of magnet for the psychos. Ladies, so always be wary. Your vulnerability will put you in positions where crazies are attracted to you. So you really want to make sure that you're serious about your own intent, even though it is scary. That vulnerability is very much so. But make sure that you choose and are actually letting your universal thoughts be known via the words that you speak. So they know our brand spaces owner's dad says this pretty well, Ronnie Armour. As soon as you open up your mouth, the universe can hear that. And then anybody else that comes to kind of sort of blow down on that or hate on that, if they would, or become hateful because of it, they back on up. You know what I mean? Because I talked up my significant other long before he even showed up. If we even had any kind of romance, let alone anything that had to do with our daughter. And that's what it took, though. It took really wanting to convince myself that that was a person that I wanted, that I needed, that I thought was worthy, that I thought was ready, that I thought was going to become that particular type of protector and provider, that particular type of lovey-dovey hubby that the girlies dream of and that the guys grow into becoming. And sometimes, ladies, that's why when we are choosing vulnerability, we sidestep destroying another young individual in order to get what we want, which is something that I've always held as a really close fear to my own heart because I knew how wrong it was. My gentlemen on here who come on and see, they don't want to be bothered with somebody that's constantly trying to lick the screen and lick their face. It's like they come to really kind of be put onto the way of the world as well. And so I appreciate that. I'm grateful for that type of energy. So that's where some of the ladies go wrong at. They feel vulnerability is a space that they're just too afraid of to actually carry out. So they just let any and everybody in. So then they get bad reputations as being, you know what I mean, hoes, people who sleep around the hoochies, and you growing up fast. And in so many words, these things are true. And how do you get into that street walking life and being a strawberry or a Jezebel, you know what I mean, or to prostitution and diseases? It's because people are so allowed to let their fear run rampant that they believe that vulnerability is something that has to be avoided at all costs. That's just not the case. It's really not that serious. It's not that deep. Like, why so serious? It reminds you of the Joker. It's not that serious, y'all. It's really not. I swear to God. And I mean, as you think about it, it's wintertime and you want to get up and nice and cozy with your significant other. You want to put on something nice. You may want to do your hair in a certain style. You kind of sort of want to put on a certain kind of look or something, in particular speaking. And you kind of sort of want to give off this particular type of energy. That takes vulnerability. Okay, you have to have that type of energy put in place. Anything that erodes that type of vulnerability that comes to dealing with how you want to carry yourself, that's a sign that something is amiss. And that's something that you may want to find some ways to journal about to get to the root of whatever the issue is. And for my ladies who are just confident, and for my men who are just ready for that type of loving, maternal energy, for the girlies that are just really putting that out there like that in the universe, like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what's going to manifest. And this is something that's not going to be something that's negotiable. So you're going to have to take that and learn how to build that into who you becoming in order to make this thing grow. And if you going to do that, cool. If you going to make that thing grow, then we going to go ahead on and we going to get some things popping. And that's just what it's going to be. And I'm down for whatever, as long as we keeping it real. I'm down with that. Okay. Yeah, I'm for real too. I'm so for real, bro. Like, I mean, for real, because I think Chloe Summer was saying this the other day, and she was answering some questions on IG Live, and they're like, you gotta have the where the girlies can have some friends, and it's not all just guy centered, which is true. Which is true. Okay, you want to definitely get you some hobbies and things like that, but both sides do. That's why I always feel like marriage men are always like the scapegoat. They always get the bad rap of being the cheater, or like, you know what I mean, the tipper. Like, what's a cheat? Always a cheat. Like, it's just me just get dogged out so bad. And it's such a two-way street because I've cheated in many relationships. Okay, like, I cannot count how many times I just was not happy. I just was unhappy, and I knew I was not happy, and I knew that was the whole purpose. Like, it was just to cause myself to have an excuse to leave. Like, it's just really that simple. And same things, men are always just talked about so badly for, always so scared to get married. You might want, but women, we is just as bad as men are. And it's so sad that girls are constantly just like, yeah, no, you know what I mean? But of course, they dog it so bad when we do behave that way, because then what do? They don't want to pay us the same. We don't get the same amount of money. You know what I mean? And again, we constantly get into more trouble. And I hate to even go down that road too as well, because there are certain moments and points in time where I'm like, wow, bro, girls are really jacked up. Real. Like, I get it. I see why, what was said was said. But anyway, that concludes our video. Vulnerability is something that you need to learn to embrace a little bit more, especially in this universal world, so we can actually obtain things that we want to obtain. Okay. Thank you for watching, hanging out. I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.